So the first Western team to ever win MSI and in record time, right? So what does that mean for G2 and for League of Legends at large?
Well, you know, it's been, I've been in this industry now for close to 15 years. And in these 15 years, it's funny because I'm non-stop reading things like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And every time I'm like, oh, I think I'll show you. And very often I failed, very often I failed. But I don't talk about that on camera. Those things that go well, like, you know, one day I said, I want to win MSI, you know? And if not as a player, then as a team owner, right?
Yeah.
And same goes for Worlds. So for me, the most important thing is that now the West believes that they can win Worlds. And we created that revolution, you know? So now it's the West against the East, and it's just, I guess, more beautiful this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you talked about the importance of the West winning it. Like, do you feel like, does it feel more important that the West won, or that it's the G2 and it's a West win at the same time?
So I consider myself a very Americanized Spanish person.
Yeah.
So even though I'm European, I have a lot of attributes I would say are very American.
Yeah.
What are one of those attributes? Yeah.
I don't know. I think I know how to hype stuff up.
Oh, it's true.
It's not very European.
Okay.
But I'm also a doer, which is very European and not very American. Yeah, I consider myself kind of having a little bit of both. But of course, just winning as G2, I don't care whether we win for South Africa or for whatever region.
Right.
G2 won, that's what matters, and I'm just so happy about it because so much work behind this, man.
Yeah.
So much work and such a dominating performance. It was insane. So what's it like now going back to the LEC, right? Do you think you're performing above the level you were before, like at the end of the split, or what is your thoughts going back now?
Well, we have, when I look at the players' career, I always look at, is this player a crunch time player, right? And if the answer is yes, then that player can be the next Faker. If the answer is no, that player will maybe have some moments of of greatness, but for the most part will be a mediocre player.
Yeah.
So I think that our team right now is full of crunch time players. And the crunch time players have something negative going for them, which is that when they don't play against really good teams, they tend to, it's just subconsciously, their minds just tend not to try hard as much.
Of course.
Because it's something of lesser value on the line. So I do fear that the beginning of the LEC season or the next split is going to be not very good. That's the support staff and also my job to keep up the pressure. But at the end of the day, you gotta make sure that the players don't burn out.
Yeah.
And that the players understand where, many times you have to take, you know, your losses, so to say, in order to have a better, you know, next 2-3 weeks, because burnout is real, and I have gone through it as a player, and I've seen many of my teams go through it many times. So it's all about, you know, managing that, when to add pressure, when to take a little bit of pressure and be okay with not perfect results. And I think that the beginning of the season is a very important moment to get some momentum going and still start the season strong.
Yeah, and speaking about going strong, I see a lot of people in the Twitch chat are talking about how clean your hoodie looks like. And you guys actually had exclusive merch. You were wearing exclusive merch at MSI, and then, you know, G2 is doubling down on merch. So, like, let's talk about how is merch growing in esports? Because now we're seeing so many brands, like Jordan Brand, Nike, etc. They're getting more involved.
That jersey is dope, by the way. That jersey.
That one is dope. That is
dope.
very clean.
So good.
That is very
you
clean.
see, you have on the left side, oh, actually it's on the right side. On the right side, you have like the 5 titles, but in a way that is very on brand with the rest of the jersey, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the MSI jersey. And I mean, we put so much work into merchandise design, and I think we can get better at marketing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the amount of, our revenue just multiplied in the last quarter by 260%. It's just unbelievable just from merchandise. So we're all so happy about it. And as you can see, this looks very, very cool. G2esports.com/shop is the place to go.
There you go.
Carlos, I want to ask you, because when we were talking beforehand, you said that it's been a dream of yours for a while to go on a trip and pack only G2 merch. Tell us about that.
So nobody in their right mind that understands about merchandising would tell you, yeah, you should go out and have a collection with multiple different items. No. Nobody would tell you that. But if you can see our spring collection is full of items. It has like 8 different items. And there's one reason for that. So that I can finally travel and wear only G2 stuff. I'm just so happy that I came here to New York. It's like a week-long trip, and I'm only wearing G2 stuff. It's a dream I had some time ago, and finally I fulfilled it.
Made it happen. Okay, let's talk about dreams that you had, right? Because one of your dreams was also winning MSI, and you've done it in grand fashion. But now that you are pretty much favorites to win Worlds at this point, right? How do you approach the rest of the year? You talked about mentality going back into the LEC. The first couple of games might be rough because the players might be thinking like this high, but that the competition might be this low. So how do you approach the rest of the year now?
Yeah, it's always the same thing that everybody says, but it's game by game.
Yeah.
But it's true that you come from playing with Faker, and now you have to play against, I'm not going to name any player name, but it's not the same level of pressure, right? And again, that gets into your subconscious, especially if you're a crunch time player.
Right.
But what I know for certain is that for the playoffs, the team will be ready, and the team wants to win playoffs again. For them, it's not acceptable not to win. They're at that level mentally, which I think is really good. And then I think coming into Worlds, we really have a revenge vendetta with IG. We couldn't get it this time, but the players are positively motivated to meet them. May that be in group phase or may that be in playoffs.
It's going to be a sick matchup, to say the least. And I know your crunch time players are just going to be thriving in it. Carlos, thank you so much for joining us here today, and thank you so much for stopping by, and congrats once again.
Appreciate it.